hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Progressive Gamer Podcast, your one stop shop for all your gaming news you need to know about. My name is Rick, your host for today, and by my virtual side is our new guest. Welcome, Powers.
Hello.
And to his virtual side, for a second time, Garden.
Hello.
There's been another big week in the gaming industry, and I'm happy to have you both to discuss it with. Are you excited?
Yeah, there's actually really good news.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this week we have 8 items on the menu. The first news of this week, there was a big PlayStation State of Play. Second news, there's big shakeups and investigation around Ubisoft Montpellier. Thirdly, Insider Gaming report almost 10 inactive Assassin's Creed projects at Ubisoft. Fourthly, EA is asking their community if they would be interested in a Dead Space 2 or 3 remake. Fifth, Hogwarts Legacy, commercial success and TV adaptation. Sixth story, Final Fantasy 16 previews are out, and we're gonna give our view on it. And the seventh story, Elden Ring confirms new DLC finally with a new image. Eighth story is Octopath Traveler 2 reviews are out, and we're just gonna look at it a little bit. And the ninth news is gonna be the release of Wulong Dynasty, the new game from the developer of Neo. It's gonna be free on Game Pass tonight, and I just wanted to speak a little bit about it. So first, let's start with everything that was announced at the State of Play. It started with 5 new PSVR 2 titles in a little reel where they showed all of these games, and then they proceeded to present March PlayStation Plus games that will include Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeon, and Code Vein starting March 7. Then there was Baldur's Gate PS5 release that was announced for August 31. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League got an extended showcase, and there was also an announcement yesterday about this game that it will be online only, even for a single player like Redfall that we talked a couple of weeks ago. Chia got a March 21 release date. That's the game that looks a little bit like Zelda Wind Waker. Humanity for PS5 and PSVR had a demo, and it will be released on May 2023, so this one is coming out soon. Naruto and X Baruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Collection was announced, and it will launch on PS4 and PS5 this year. Wayfinder, the game from the makers of the Ninja Space game Warframe, they got a gameplay trailer ahead of the February 28th beta that was released. Then there was Zangief, Lily, and Cammy were revealed for Street Fighter 6. I guess that these are new characters. Resident Evil 4 Remake got a new trailer ahead of its release date and demo. So for me, I thought Humanity was the most interesting thing in this presentation, and that says a lot about it. I don't think this was a strong showing compared to the Nintendo Direct that we got this year or the first Xbox event this year where we got a Hi-Fi Rush. Most of the stuff that they showed were multi-platform games and games that were announced previously, so there was no big surprise for me. So I thought it was a pretty weak showing from them. The first talk that they had publicly in the year. So what do you think of this State of Play, and what was your favorite announcement? Let's start with Power.
I think my favorite one was the Street Fighter one with Cammy, Lily, and Zangief. But besides that, it felt pretty empty, in my opinion.
Um,
What about
in
you?
my
Evan?
opinion, yes, in my opinion, I actually, even though like in probably are like cross platform and they probably were released previously, I think what was good in this list was Naruto X Boruto. Because like I think the Naruto games are still like very popular, and like I still think like it's a popular franchise, so I think
Yeah,
people would definitely enjoy that.
but this is a
And
collection of all the games together. These
yeah,
are all the previous games, yeah.
so but if they can get it in the PlayStation Plus or whatever, I think that's pretty good steal. Yeah. but also even though I know Battlefield 2042 was really really bad when it first came out actually, but they've improved on it since then, and I do believe if instead of people paying so much to get this game, if they could easily get it from the PlayStation Plus
Yeah,
and have it
but I
from
don't think
there.
that like Battlefield 2042 as a PlayStation game is
Mhm.
a good announcement to have at a state of play, you know?
Of course not, but I think their reasoning for it is to kind of promote the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty, you know, meh announcement in my opinion. Like even the
Mhm.
big title that was showed was Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which is a multiplayer
Mhm.
game. You know, it's Rocksteady. We've seen it before, like a couple of
Mhm.
times. Like it wasn't surprising, and like Humanity was already
Yeah.
showed also at another PlayStation event a couple years
Yeah.
ago, and I thought this one looked interesting. Like it's a puzzle game, it looks nice, but to have that as my most interesting in a state of play, it's weird. Like it's a really
Yeah.
really bad showing, I think. And like
Yeah. Yeah.
just previously we had a Nintendo Direct where there was the new Zelda Tears of the Kingdom that was announced with a new trailer. Like there was like surprises in the Xbox event where they released Hi-Fi Rush, which was a good game. And this one, like, very very disappointing. Like even Resident Evil 4, I'm very excited for Resident Evil 4, but is that the time to show it? Like Capcom can send their trailer, like we know about this game, we know it's coming out, like don't put a lot of time on it in an event where you want to show what's coming out.
Mm.
So yeah,
Okay.
but Sony, the state of play might have been a little bit of a letdown, but just like Ubisoft, for the past few months, it's been bad news after bad news. But for our second news today, another bad news from Ubisoft Montpellier, the developer of Beyond Good and Evil 2. The head of the studio departed after 18 years in the company, and the company is now under a governmental assessment of the well-being of their employee after an unprecedented number of developer burnout and sick leave. So we know that crunch is a big problem in the industry. What do you think of those allegations? And do you think Beyond Good and Evil 2 will ever come out, considering it was announced ages ago? Powers.
God, it's rather interesting. The investigation is not very surprising. And I think the game's been worked on from this point, I think since 15, I don't want to get this date wrong, 20 years. In my opinion, I don't think the game's coming out. There is no way it's coming out at this point.
And you think that some of the burnout might be caused because of the fact that they're working on the same game for 15 years?
Yeah, if I'm guessing 15 years, I'm not sure if I'm right or not. Like, if it's coming out, it's gonna be more unoptimized than Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk's more playable now than it's ever been. I will take that take.
And also from what I've seen from the early stuff of Beyond Good and Evil 2, it looked like the scope was humongous, like almost impossible to reach. Like they were talking about multiple planet, a universe, like stuff that we didn't see work yet. And we'll see
And
how Starfield goes, you know?
and they've been working on this since the Xbox One, near the beginning of that generation. So it's like,
Yeah, the first game came out on the GameCube. Like, it's been a while. What about you, Garden? Do you know about Beyond Good and Evil 2? What do you think about these allegations?
Um, I'm not too familiar about this situation, but based on seeing it's been forever since they're able to release it, and they're going through this allegations and stuff. I don't think they're gonna release it. Like they're gonna have to put it off for I don't know, it could be years again before they actually release that because they have to deal with a lot of stuff, and I think they'll just be preoccupied before they can actually release that thing. Yeah, I was gonna say that it's not just the preoccupied, they'll be preoccupied, but I also do believe that I do believe that they will. they will have a hard time like releasing it, depending on like how these allegations like what the result of the allegations and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Ubisoft
Okay.
said that they canceled like 3 games recently that were unannounced. So this isn't even one of their canceled game. Like, that makes you think about what they would cancel if they still haven't canceled Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Here's the thing. They start teasing this game back in 2008.
Yeah, I thought
Ooh.
2007 in my head.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I think that they may be working on a game like this for too long. Might not be that great of an idea for a team. If they can achieve anything, like it can be good for morale and stuff. And having not released a game in so long, I feel like maybe they should move on to another project.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I do think that like the fans might like kind of get over that, right? When it finally releases, I think they would probably not be as hyped as they were when it was when they like started hyping it out. Yeah.
It's lasted more longer in development than Duke Nukem Forever, which Duke Nukem Forever took 14 years to finish.
And it was a joke, you know. And look how Duke Nukem Forever came out. Like, I don't have a good thing to say about this game, you know. There's not a lot of good stuff. So, but it's not all the news we had regarding Ubisoft this week. There was also an article from Insider Gaming. Says they have the information that almost 10 Assassin's Creed projects are in the works right now. Seems like Ubisoft is going all in on the franchise. And after the cancellation of 3 games a couple weeks ago, you think it's a good idea for Ubisoft to focus so much on one single franchise? Powers.
If they're gonna, if they really are right now internally leaving Good and Evil 2 behind and going for Assassin's Creed like a wildfire, sure, go ahead.
No,
Like,
these are other projects from other studios inside
a
of
different like
Ubisoft.
internal. Yeah, they seem to be making tons of money off of the franchise, so
But don't you think
yeah.
that making that much of one product will overcrowd the market, maybe with product where you see people being less interested or having a lot of misfire, you know, that affects the franchise overall?
It might. It depends on what the games are. They've released like an Assassin's Creed before and 2 mobile ones, and people enjoyed it. Like, it depends if these are going to be released back to back or yearly. Like, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, with
are
10
they gonna
projects
have
like that, there was like online projects, there's single player projects, there are mobile projects, there's everything Assassin's Creed.
like, are they gonna release these like a Call of Duty game, like where it's once every year, or are they gonna be like 2-year?
Yeah, I think it might
Like,
be a little more than
pauses?
that.
Yeah, that's all I'm wondering. Is it like a 2 or 3-year time gap, or is it like a
I think it's going to be
1
less than
year?
a year. Because they're going to
Oh,
release
like,
phone games with other projects, with smaller projects, with bigger projects. So
oh, then that's like mobile games. Those are gonna sell like fire and hotcakes. Like, then that's kind of a concern. But like console games, those are the ones, and console and computer games. That's kind of concern. Like,
I feel like it's kind of risky when you focus that much on one franchise, because if you do like 2 or 3 mistakes, like, or bad releases, then you're screwed, because all of your other projects
oh
are
yeah,
going to be affected by the sales of the name, the brand recognition, and all. So let's say that you release one Cyberpunk 2077, like, you're screwed, because the next game might not sell as you want it to sell.
that's why you focus on that one game for a long time and don't keep releasing like another one every year or something, because you're gonna lose sales on the last one.
Or you diversify, you know, you try other stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think, Garden? Have you played a little bit of Assassin's Creed?
Oh yeah.
The Valhalla one.
Any?
I actually wasn't able to fully play because I have played like demos and stuff like that of some Assassin's Creeds, and I would say like this is a really good franchise. I was actually even though I couldn't get it, I was really excited about Brotherhood when they first like came out with that, and they were advertising it and stuff like that. It just looks so well. The trailers made the game look so good, like really good, and I really wanted that one, but at the time I couldn't actually get it, right? But I would say like I do have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I do want to make time to play it. Um, it's just like recently they've just been making their games with a lot of gigabytes, but- and I play on PC, so if I was
Yeah,
like a console user, it would be easier.
but when
Yeah.
it started, I feel like they were starting to have a Assassin's Creed like burnout, like of the community after like the one with the boats, Black Flag, Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed Black Flag, and then there was like Syndicate and everything, and those didn't sell as much, with Unity really not selling. Then they started to do like a transition to the more open world RPGs like Origins and Odyssey and the new Valhalla. And I think that if they continue releasing like this too much, there's gonna be another burnout where people are gonna want a different thing. And now they announced that the next game is gonna be going back to those time of Syndicate and Unity, like more assassination stealth thing. So we'll see. I
Which
think
I think that's good.
Yeah, you think it's good?
Yeah, because we've been missing a Assassin's Creed game where it's just pure assassin and you know
Yeah,
nothing else. Like we've been doing like voyages across land and sea, and you're not really an assassin. You're more of a voyager and
almost a
person
god.
going around. Yeah, it's like
Like in Odyssey,
where's
when
the
you can jump
assassin?
everywhere, like you feel
Yeah.
like a god.
Yeah, it's like where's the assassination? The last one I enjoyed was Unity and Syndicate because you are actually kind of an assassin. You are an undercover like group assassinating these high figures in society.
Yeah, and then they stopped doing that. But I like the new version where you grind for your stuff and have an open world with the graphics are still amazing. Like the combat is, I think, a little better because doing those stealth games, like once you get the counter, it's instant counter and killing everyone. Like it wasn't fun for me the first Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed when you can just kill an entire village just by countering everyone.
Syndicate and Unity, I like their gameplay because the enemies could counter you back,
Oh,
which I thought was so fun. Like you could be fencing with them and you could have your counter ability up, and then they could come out of nowhere, counter you, and stab you.
but that's what I thought.
Which
I
was
thought that this system had some potential, but it just never came through in any of the previous games. Like it was always counter, counter, counter. I never played Syndicate though, so I don't know about
it,
what they did in
and
Syndicate.
they had a huge emphasis on the running. It was more parkour like than the newer ones. Like you had like a hook shot, you could fly
Yeah,
up
but that's
into the
also an
buildings and-
environmental thing. In the new ones, it's more historically like early, so you don't have like as vertical levels. There's
Yeah.
no like to in the origins, like you're in Egypt, like there is no like three
Well,
floors
that
houses
was
everywhere.
kind of fun, like going through Egypt and seeing those.
That's what I'm
environments
saying.
was
It's
pretty
like
cool.
now it's like more of a historical thing than
Yeah, it's more of a historical history lesson, which is bummer. Like, because it's like I'm not reading a history book. I want to play a game where I'm an assassin going around.
yeah.
True. I agree with that. Yeah.
It's just like I think they could have called it another thing than Assassin's Creed. I just think it wouldn't have sold as much. When they started Assassin's Creed Origin, like they could have called that anything. Like it could have been a new God of War.
Like the ending part of the game where, I forget her name, she assassinated Caesar. That was a cool part, like because no one knows who actually stabbed Caesar, and that was actually pretty neat.
Yeah, that's my thing with Brotherhood too. Like I like the beginning and the ending, but those were the two only like program, interactive levels, like where there was pre-programmed stuff that were happening like throughout the story. Talking about big companies and their franchise, EA made a survey to ask gamers if they wanted to do a remake of Dead Space 2 and 3 after the success of the new Dead Space remake. Rock Paper Shotgun report. I personally would love a Dead Space remake too. My preference would be to do an entire new episode because I didn't like 3 that much, and we know that the franchise didn't end well if you ask most of the fans. So what do you think? Would you like a Dead Space 2 or 3 remake, Garden?
Honestly, I actually agree with you in the fact that they should just make a new one. Like they keep making remakes. Like just make a new one. Like just make a new one. That would be really fun, honestly. I think Dead Space fans would really like if they made a new one, but if it didn't like deter from like the usual Dead Space kind of games. Yeah. I don't think they need to keep making remakes, you know? I
What about you,
don't think
Powers?
that's
Just do 2 and then make 4. That's it.
4, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it.
it. That's all you need to do. Just 2, then 4, or wherever you want to do, because 2 is
So,
the best.
we're all
3
good
never
for 2
existed.
remake, yeah. We're all good for that,
Huh.
right?
Yeah, 3 never existed. That is non-existent. The ending was good. It's the ending was kind of cool, like with the weird blood moon thing. That was kind of like a H.P. Lovecraft type thing. But
So yeah, I played the first one, right? I'm playing the first one right now. I'm not done yet, but I feel like it's a very quality remake right now. I feel like it's a potential for the game of the year if nothing would be releasing else this year,
I have to say my favorite remake, which is technically not a remake, it's more of a sequel, is 7 remake.
7 remake. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a remake. How can it be a sequel when it's the same story? But I think they're both good. Yeah, so also there was a big news, good news on the side of Hogwarts Legacy. Variety reports after only 2 weeks of sale, the game has sold more than 12 million units. This makes it one of the most sold game out there. And what's interesting, in my opinion, is that the game only released for PC and next gen. So it's nice to see a game perform well commercially, and it shows that there's a bunch of PS5 and Xbox Series X, and that a game can be commercially successful even though it's only on next gen. So I feel like this is like a point where we can, as a developer, like be safe to say, hey, we can release our stuff only on next gen and it's gonna sell. So, and also another news look towards Hogwarts Legacy was from the site Giant Freaking Robot. That's more of a rumor. HBO Max would be developing a TV show based on the game Hogwarts Legacy right now. So, would you watch Hogwarts Legacy TV show, and what do you think about the game's success, Powers?
I figured the game was going to succeed. It's Harry Potter. Very successful franchise. And, well, it's one of the most sold books of all time. Despite the books, the movies too. As far as a TV series, I don't know what the game's about, but I might watch it, might not. Depends on who's writing it, etc., etc. But yeah.
Also, gotta remember that HBO Max is not HBO, right? So if it was HBO making the remake, the TV adaptation, that would be way more safe. I feel like it would be good, like The Last of Us or whatever. But
wait, but HBO Max makes good movies and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
maybe
they make good
you
stuff.
think
Though.
so, but look at their production, and it's not that great. Like my favorite stuff that they pull out is Peacemaker. They have like Peacemaker, and the other one was
They did that terrible Velma show, remember?
Well,
I would-
they don't produce a lot of stuff. HBO Max actually.
Well, it's because of like it's a
They're
heavy
new
topic.
too.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Like the only
Business
one
stuff,
that
business
I
stuff.
like from HBO Max is literally Peacemaker and Raised by Wolves.
Yeah, and those two are pretty mature.
Yeah, but the rest is like Gossip Girl, DMZ, Julia, Tokyo Vice, The Staircase.
Oh, that one Batman series is gonna be on there. The Penguin spinoff one.
Maybe, yeah.
No,
But
it will.
that might be an
They're
HBO
confirmed
produced
it.
show.
Well, HBO produced shows go on HBO Max.
They go on HBO Max, but HBO Max doesn't produce this show. Oh yeah, they produce Velma.
Yeah.
10-year-old Tom. I
And
like 10-year-old Tom, but that's just a me thing.
yeah, that's a very mature show. Same with they produced also Harley Quinn.
No, that's HBO.
No,
Yeah,
at first HBO. Wait, what?
Yeah, Harley Quinn is HBO, I think.
Despite what people think, I do like that show.
That's why they're gonna they were gonna rename HBO Max, right? Because of all this confusion and all, they're gonna name it Max.
Well,
But
Warner
they
Discovery.
but they did move it to HBO Max though.
Yeah, they
Well-
move it to HBO Max now, but it was like HBO produced shows are always great quality. HBO Max, like, it's another bet. It's a way riskier bet.
Yeah, HBO is just HBO Max now because of the Warner Discovery merger. The Warner Discovery merger, like, basically blew HBO up, and now it's under the HBO Max logo.
No, not at all. They're gonna separate it more by renaming Max, HBO Max Max. So HBO is gonna be HBO, and Max is gonna be Max.
Okay.
So because they want to show that everything on HBO Max that is gonna be rebranded Max is Warner Brother. It's everything Warner Brother. Like, they have movies, they have HBO, they have plenty of other stuff, and HBO Max is now producing their own shows as a streaming service.
Oh, okay. This is what they're doing. They're merging Discovery with HBO Max, and it's gonna remain
Yes,
the same thing. It's just
exactly.
gonna become. It's just gonna be Discovery Plus with
Discovery
HBO Max,
Plus
and
is gonna
that's
be in HBO Max, yeah.
it. Yeah, that's it.
But they cut a lot of projects too, like with the Discovery merger. But that's another topic. So there was Final Fantasy 16 previews came out. That's a game I'm really looking forward to. I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy franchise, and I heard that they hired somebody from Devil May Cry to do the combat system. And after seeing the previews, I'm really hyped to see what this game is about. The graphics looks amazing. The combat looks great. Everything for me looks like it's gonna be a Game of the Year contender at least. So, Powers, have you seen these previews, and are you interested in Final Fantasy 16?
I have seen these previews, and I am very excited for the game. Like, it does look like a mashup of Devil May Cry and like a little bit of Kingdom Hearts-ish in there, but the visuals look stunning. What do I like the most?
What makes you more confident about this game than another Final Fantasy?
The director and the combat, like,
So the
the
dynamic
person
comeback,
working it.
because I hear there's gonna be a lot more action right now.
Oh yeah,
a lot
there's
more
supposed to be a
action.
lot more action and story. They're putting a huge emphasis.
I
on
heard
story
almost
for this.
11 hours of
Cutscenes.
cinematics, cutscenes. It's crazy.
But that will not take over the emphasis on how long the game is.
11 hours of cinematics. That's a Metal Gear Solid 4 level thing. Like, it's a lot. What do you think, Garden? I know you played Final Fantasy 15 recently.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think it's great. Like I've already was interested in Final Fantasy 16 before they show like their released and like trailers and stuff like that. When I heard that it was coming out, I was like, oh, thank God they're making a new one. And I looked at it, and just as Power said, it does look a bit like Devil May Cry. But it does still have like that same aspect, like Final Fantasy 15. I don't think it's gonna be turn-based. I still think I think they're gonna just continue the regular style, Elden Ring-ish type of like fighting bosses and stuff. And I think looks really good. Like if if they if they release that, and there's like a really good sale on Steam or something like that, or I can get it on a different link, like I would cop that because it looks really fun, and I just love Final Fantasy, so I'm glad that they're still making games and that their games are really good.
Yeah, me,
Honestly.
I like the going back to the medieval setting, and also from the previews that we've seen, one of the most impressive thing for me was the scale. Like the enemies were gigantic. Like it shrinks your character, like, and it makes you feel like super powerful and all. It looked
Yeah.
amazing. Like the only lackluster thing I think was a little bit the combat when you're in a giant. You're transformed into the giant beast. Like it looked pretty basic, like the
Hmm.
counter attack thing.
Oh, every icon battle will be different.
Oh,
Like
okay,
the
yeah,
one they showed with Garuda, that's more of a base. That's the first icon battle you do in the game.
yeah, okay.
There's different icon battles.
Oh yeah, you verse different ones throughout the whole game, and that's the first one you do.
But they're like weapons, like owned by every kingdom, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's certain ones. Um, Yoshi P, the director, he said there's ones we aren't going to show in the trailer. Any trailer.
Ooh, I'm excited about
Yeah,
that.
he
I'm
said
super
there
excited.
was. He said there was one we were going to cut from the game, but we have not.
And do you know if you're gonna battle with multiple characters? It's always gonna be like the main
Um,
guy.
It's Clive's the main character. The NPCs are controlled. Like you can tell them what to do.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
it's
they're
just like
just
Final
gonna be
Fantasy 15
helpers.
kind of. It's kind of like Final
Yeah,
Fantasy 15.
yeah, it is. The dog is a party member, and you can tell
Oh,
him
you
what
can
to
get
do.
dog now?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can get
that's really
doggo.
cool.
Um,
Let's
the more
go. Let's go.
the more you pet the dog and like become like closer with it,
He
it'll
levels
follow
up.
commands more. Yeah, it
Oh,
levels up and it can do combos with you and all that.
I was gonna say that I really like just as Rick was about to say, there's like this medieval aspect to it. Um I honestly really like if that's the game, like if it's like in medieval timing, or storyline. I think that's really cool because I really liked Final Fantasy Tactics for that reason.
Yeah, they
Like they
pretty
had like
much left medieval times since Final Fantasy VI and those studio ones.
uh
Like
hmm
it's always been like futuristic or kind of a
fantasy, yeah,
fantasy, like very high
hmm
fantasy in other planets.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I'm really excited then because like I really like that medieval
and it's
aspect of
not
it.
gonna be open world too. Like, it's
Yeah,
Oh
gonna
it's
be
no.
semi.
linear.
Yeah, it's
It,
linear and semi-open world. There will be side quests, but
mhm.
other than that, it's
Oh,
linear.
it's not like Final Fantasy 15 where it looked more open world or whatever, where you can just like
Yeah, Final Fantasy 15 was trying to be open world. That was an open world.
hmm
The new one isn't
hmm
trying to do that. It's doing more of a
No.
streamlined story in
Oh,
different like
Yeah,
areas
but
maybe.
okay.
there
Okay, that's
is.
not
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, sorry.
There are quests where side quests where it can make the game last up to 80 hours.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay, that's really cool because like my favorite thing about Final Fantasy 15 was the side quests. So if side quests can be longer than even the game, It's like the normal story. That's gonna be my favorite. 'Cause
And
I love side quests.
on the harder modes, the game can make it even longer because like on harder modes, enemy placements are different. Certain enemies are higher level in certain areas.
Yeah, the grind to
Yeah.
be able to go through them. Well, yeah, that's like a typical Final Fantasy type of thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not too bad about them not getting. I really like the open world aspect of Final Fantasy 15, but even if they like go back to their original thing where they're not trying to do open world, I think it's okay though because you have to progress through the main story. Is the main story more longer in this game?
It's like average 35 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it
That's
might
not
be a
bad.
little lesser than Final Fantasy 15, if I remember,
Oh,
or the same.
okay.
That's it
Oh,
depends on what mode you're playing.
Yeah, I think this one is
if it's
gonna be
hard,
more is gonna be harder because of the action style of
Um,
combat. I think it's gonna be way less accessible at harder difficulties.
the
action
direct
level combat isn't that similar to like Final Fantasy 15 or am I tripping?
Well,
okay.
there's less counters and stuff and comboing in Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, I see. That was actually really fun in Final Fantasy 15 where you can do combos and stuff.
It's more
That kind of
dependent
sucks.
on your level and weapon in Final Fantasy 15 than it's gonna be in 16, I
Oh.
think.
Oh, okay. Do they have like a JP aspect, like where you're trying to get like points to level up like a specific job? Like you like do they have that or
Not really.
did
Your
they
main
just
character seems to have like one weapon, but you seem to
oh
develop combos at a Devil May Cry.
um
okay. I guess they got rid of that.
but basically for the combat director, he said that you can make the game as difficult as you want it to be, even on the hardest mode. He said because there's two rings that he's given you early on. It's the ring that won't let you level up, and the ring that will let you level up your equipment or skills.
There was another news this week. Finally, we got the confirmation on Elden Ring DLC, which with a new image, and people are already speculating about it. Did you play Elden Ring, and do you think that you will go back if there's a proper big expansion like this, Powers?
Yes, I will indeed. I'm gonna have to start my new run through soon.
So you're a New Game Plus?
No, I'm gonna have to start an entirely new character. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. That's one way to do it. What about you, Garden?
Yep.
I haven't played it and I really want to play this game. I'm still trying to like find a place where I can get it on a good sale.
So maybe the release of a DLC would be a good time to buy it all at once with the
Mhm.
DLC at reduced price.
Oh yeah. Like I remember I think if I remember correctly, Elden Ring was on sale. I'm not sure if it was on sale last year.
I'm sure it
Like on
was
the
when it got the Game of the Year thing. It probably got the Game of the Year like rebate or whatever.
yeah, I feel like it was on sale, but I missed that sale. Yeah.
There's this website called GG.deals that shows games that are on sale.
Mhm.
That could be a good
Really
thing
good.
to use.
Did you that what you said?
GG.deals.
Okay.
I go there all the time.
And it
It's
gives you
like
like codes.
no, it shows which websites has
Oh,
the
okay, yeah.
cheapest deals.
Oh, it shows which websites. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
So
I think there's another website like Inside Gaming, I believe it was called, where you can
yeah,
get stuff on good sale. But they don't
but
have that game on there.
But
Yeah.
it's been a long time, since Elden Ring came out. Do you think that it's a little bit long before they announced it? Like we just had confirmation this week. Like, don't you think that they could have announced that a little earlier, like when they got the Game of the Year? I'm
well,
sure they had plans, like pretty
this
written out
isn't
for
gonna
this.
be DLC. It's gonna be an expansion.
Yes.
Like an old term expansion,
It's a
Like they have
DLC. It's
expansion
a big
packs.
DLC now.
Well, Miyazaki said he's planning this more to be than via DLC, standard downloadable content. He wants it to be a whole entire new world and old term expansion pack. So I think this is going to be bigger than standard DLC.
Well, what's a standard DLC? Like DLC can be big, it can be small. It's just a
I
new
know,
appellation we have, like for.
I know, but I'm thinking this is going to be like old school game
Yeah.
expansion, like Diablo 2. Remember how there was
Warcraft.
yeah, like Warcraft, like they had those huge expansion packs that
I
were practically
loved-
new games.
I
Yeah,
love
they were
the thing they had in the store with the double packaging.
Yeah, they were practically new games, especially the old Warhammer games,
Oh, Warhammer.
like 40K.
Yeah.
Like they were practically new games. They weren't expansion packs.
Yeah, I love
Th-
Frozen Throne too for Warcraft. They were doing great expansion at this time.
Yeah, they
Diablo
were new
2.
games.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking that's how far he's going with this.
Yeah,
That's,
it might be. I just think he
Like-
could have announced it earlier, maybe. And now we know that it's gonna release after Armored Core 6, which is gonna be late.
big.
Are you excited for Armored Core?
I never played an Armored Core, so that would be my first one.
Okay. So me too. Like I played a little bit on my PS3, Armored Core 4, but it wasn't really my type of game, so I didn't finish it at all. Like it's big if I finished half of it. So there was also an 8 story this week. Octopath Traveler reviews are out on Nintendo Switch. So yeah, the reviews are out. This is a turn-based RPG with 2.5D graphics, a la Final Fantasy, with 8 story that comes together, and the review is pretty positive. It's a very long game, so I doubt I'll have time to play. And yeah, so I think the Metacritic was like 84 or 86. It was a good one. I like the graphics that they do, the 2.5D style. They made triangle strategy with that type of graphic, and it looks really nice. So what do you think? Are you interested in that type of old school RPG, or do you think this is a dead format, Powers?
I think it's pretty interesting. I played the first one. It was pretty fun. And I say the biggest expansion out of those games is the class system. There's so much variety you can do. But the problem with those games is they're so long. It like gives you a migraine. Not in a bad way. It's
Yeah, the
just,
hate story thing I hear is pretty messy at times.
yeah, so it's like I gotta go back and it's like, oh, I gotta play this again. Oh no.
And then you remember where you were at the point where you left.
No, you don't remember. You don't remember the story.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you gotta read. In these games, it's a lot of reading. It's if you don't read, you're gonna get lost usually. I wasn't finishing any of these games when I was a child. I had to go back as an adult to do all of those Final Fantasy type games. What about you, Garden? I'm sure you liked Final Fantasy Tactics, so that might be in your branch.
Oh yes, like I actually want to get Triangle Strategy, because like when I heard that they were trying to come up with a game that was very similar to Final Fantasy Tactics, I was really excited. Like they were releasing saying, hey, there might be a kind of, Final Fantasy Tactics game that's coming out, and then they said it was like Triangle
Or
Strategy. So
wannabe.
yeah, and honestly, I'm pretty I like this style of RPG. And I quite disagree about like, the reading aspect or how long it is. Like I think that's just the way those games are. and I like them. I really like that aspect of those games. Now, I do realize there are games like Tactics Ogre though that can be like 1 to 2 hours to 3 hours in just one battle. So if it's like that, that might be really annoying. Um, because
Tactics Ogre is
the
different. Like the war can take hours, but the combats are seconds
mhm.
because it's automated.
Yeah, the combats are seconds, but like the whole like just one like battle sequence where
I know. I
you're
played the original one on Super Nintendo.
y- yeah, they like the one on the like people
Imagine
kind
that
of
on
played the
Super
one on the
Nintendo.
Switch. Yeah, because I played I believe I played both was it on like PS1 or something like that? Like and then they had it for the PSP. So I played those two versions. And I'ma just say it like the older one, like it's not as long as if you're playing like the PSP version and the Switch version, which is about like the exact same thing.
But it's a
And
classic.
I'ma just say the battles be long. You're sitting there for 1 to 2 hours like battling.
But
Like
you know
if
how
it's not
like you can transform all of your units,
mhm.
like all of their alignment and stuff. It's a very complicated game. I don't
Yeah.
think there's
I
been an
know.
RPG
It's a
like
tactics
this
game.
since. Like
I know because it's like a tactical kind of game style. Even for
but it's
tactics
weird.
game style, it's different too. Like
It's
Tactics
weird.
Ogre is just on a different level, yeah.
Like if you
But
chase people and like don't let them like run away, like you're gonna become
mhm,
evil. Like
mhm.
it's weird stuff like that in the gameplay. Like for Super Nintendo, that was like a revolution. That was a really really big game, and now it's like
Yeah.
worth hundreds of dollars. The Super
I, I-
Nintendo ones.
I'm just saying, like that style is amazing. They should continue making tactic RPG games like that. Um,
Did you like the
because
remake?
I,
Because
I
I was thinking about playing it.
the Nintendo Switch one
Yeah,
for the Tactics Ogre. I heard somebody like I know somebody who actually plays that remake one. It's he said like there is quite a little bit differences that make it better than if you're like playing the PSP version. And I'm gonna just say like I might get it because I really love these tactics
I think I
like
might
type
get
of
it on
RPG
PC.
game.
Isn't it on PC
Yeah.
too? I think it's on PC.
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah,
I think they do. I think they do though.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's on PC. I think I'm just gonna try it on PC actually. So,
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing because I really love this kind of game style. But I would say like the oldest version, either whether it was PS1 or something like that, the oldest version is the best though. Like just the very old, RPG like graphic style and
and what
the
about the
battles, like
the 64
just really cute.
version?
Yeah, I don't know about that because I didn't have that one.
Because this
So,
was like one of the only RPG on PlayStation, on Nintendo 64.
mhm.
Was
Oh, okay.
Ogre Battle
I,
64.
I'm sure people really liked it. It was probably like such a revolutionary thing.
It was nice.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
last story this week, we have a new game coming out on Game Pass tonight. It's called Wulong Fallen Dynasty from the Neo developer Team Ninja, and the last Neo 1 and 2 were really good Souls-like game, and I'm very excited to see it. It's gonna be free, so I'm gonna try it 100%. So, are you excited about this release? Have you heard about Wulong Powers?
I have, and I almost forgot it came out tonight. Not tonight. For me it'd be tomorrow. Um. Oh, I was like, oh god, it's coming out. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's coming out like right now, and
yeah,
another Soulsborne, another challenge. It's another game.
I seen the gameplay. It's like a mix between Sekiro and Nioh and Nioh 2.
Yeah.
And it's like it looks good and everything about it. I love Nioh 1 and Nioh 2. And it's like instead of Japanese, it's using like the Three Kingdoms type dynasty to it. And
Wait, is it a Chinese kind of game?
Yes.
oh yeah. Yeah, it's Chinese.
Okay. A Wulong? Okay, because like
Wulong Fallen
it does look
Dynasty.
like, yeah, it does look like it would be one
It's
of those
Chinese lore.
yeah, it would be like one of those ancient Chinese like fighting using knives and stuff like that
Mhm.
kind of history. I didn't play games like this particularly. I played Chinese like ancient kind of uh MMORPG types of Chinese like dynasty games, but I've never played this type.
Yeah,
So
this is very Souls, Dark Souls.
yeah, it's
Very,
a
very
completely
much
Kinda.
like
different
Dark
type.
Souls.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a completely different type. Like this is not very typical of the Chinese type
The
of dynasty games. So yeah.
the Nio developers very differentiate from the Soulsborne genre at this point, which I love. They kinda do, but it's very fun.
Yeah, it's still
You die quicker.
different enough to like have their own thing. Like I don't think they're stealing from them. It's just
Oh no.
such a inspired by Dark Souls that you
Oh yeah.
cannot miss the comparison between them. And right now it's
Um,
sitting at an 81 Metascore on Metacritic. So, it's good. It looks like a good game. I'm very excited to play it because it's like my type of game that I really enjoy. So I see really good reviews. I see one mixed reviews and a couple of great reviews. So I'm really excited for it. I'll play it for free. It's free on Game Pass, so probably gonna play it there. So
I gotta finish my Baldur's Gate run right now.
Baldur's Gate, which one?
3.
It's not released, right?
So
It's pre-released.
so I wanna play it still.
Okay, because I'm a big fan of Larian Studio, but I'm waiting for the real release of this game to play it.
I can still play it. I wanna have fun.
Yeah, I love Divinity 2 and Divinity Original Sin 1.
I love early access games. I get to go through the process of playing it, even when there's bugs.
So, what about you, Garden? Would you like Wulong? Would you try it on Game Pass?
Probably not. Doesn't look like my cup of tea. Although I do like, Chinese style, dynasty type of like older, ancient, uh, kind of, styles. But I don't know. I don't think I would play it, honestly. Doesn't look like my cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be in the Game of the Year level thing, but it's a good release for Game Pass. It's a good get
Is it
for them. It's day one release, free on Game Pass. So
is it as hard as Dark Souls? Like, are you
yes,
guys kind of like similar? Oh God.
yes, I think it might be a little harder sometimes, but in the end, it's easier. I think it's scaling differently a little bit.
hmm
There's a lot of different things, but yeah. So it's been a nice podcast. It's been nice talking to you both, and I hope you had a great time. And see you maybe next week.